Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy A.I.C.S.C here, back in another video. Hope everyone's well wherever you are. Thought I'd make one more video before I go to sleep, as I made a version on Facebook, but I thought I'd make another one on YouTube and try and cover some different points if I can, just for a bit of fun. I haven't really planned it or scripted it that much because I thought I'd just talk about what comes to my mind, and if anyone wants to post it in the live chat, I'll try and answer any questions or as long as, especially if it's on topic to do with football or whatever. As I say, I thought I'd talk about some of my ideas to do with football, like football for good, like how football can be used to do good things, and my dreams about football generally, like working with FIFA and UEFA and foundations, N.G.Os, charities and whatnot, and like doing fundraising matches and stuff like that. And hopefully some people can send me some suggestions. And as ever, I welcome your support, like liking the videos and sharing and whatever else, or even if you want to react to my videos or like do like stuff like share for share, like for like, react for react and stuff like that, view for view and whatnot. So please feel free to post anything you want. Hopefully you won't be too harsh, but believe it or not, I don't actually drink, so these are not the ramblings of a drunk guy, they're just the ramblings of a mad guy who's probably a little bit tired, but not tired enough to sleep, and having a big mug of tea at night probably doesn't help either. But normally I have a cat nap during the day, but I didn't do so today. So as I say, I would love to do like fundraisers for charity where through football, possibly with other YouTubers, preferably, well, all around the world really, like with YouTubers from around the world perhaps, or football fans around the world, and record it to YouTube and like fundraise for charity. I'd love to work with the town teams and Celtic, as I often say, and with FIFA and UEFA perhaps as well, and again charities and N.G.Os and that kind of thing. And as I say, fundraise for different causes, like helping countries which are struggling financially, helping countries which basically have low unemployment, helping countries like South Africa and countries across Africa, as well as Latin America, Asia, and indigenous communities across Australasia, Aboriginals, Torres and Strait Pacific Islanders and Maoris, including supporting them in STEM, science, tech, engineering and maths, supporting their businesses, supporting them in training to set up their own businesses, and trying to listen to people from their communities, and again work with FIFA and UEFA on my ideas and different football bodies, possibly including like the Australian football bodies or organisations and that sort of thing, so that especially working with FIFA, as I say, that and through them working with different football bodies around the world, and again especially Italian football and Celtic, the F.A.I, and Celtic and whatnot. To get more Aboriginals, Torres and Strait Pacific Islanders, Maoris and other groups, well, those groups mainly in Australia, get them into football, my fellow Anglo Indians and Eurasians, just helping as many of those groups to get into football, which obviously would be beneficial for football. So hopefully FIFA and its foundation would be interested in stuff like that, and also whoever runs Australian soccer as well might be interested in some of that, as well as Italian football and Celtic, hopefully towards a mutual benefit. But again, I'd love to do like fundraisers, and I'd love to travel to Italy and work with Celtic around the world to share my ideas, as I often mention, and I'll say work with including having fundraisers in Italy and at Celtic Park, and again fundraising for Argentina, Somalia, Lebanon, and all sorts of different countries that are going through difficult times, maybe even to help people in Ukraine or around the world. And I'd especially love to help, really, if I could, I'd love to help the 10% poorest people in all possible countries. Wherever there's the most poverty and the most need, especially, and like work towards tackling illnesses and diseases and things like that through football. Moving on to another note, to another point, the game with Inter Milan versus Benfica, as I mentioned on my Facebook as well. I didn't get to watch the game, as I mentioned in my last video, but from the highlights I saw, I think Benfica were very good, but they were not clinical enough, and I'm glad Inter Milan won, to be honest. And a decision that Inter Milan got with a penalty I thought was rather harsh. I'd take it. But if it went against an Italian team or Celtic, I would be very disappointed. Some YouTubers that I like to listen to are like Mark Goldbridge, Jay just Juve or Juventus. I think he's got quite a cool voice, and he plans it out a lot better than me, I suppose. I like to just go off cuff or whatever they call it. But he seems to plan it out and do more research and stuff like that. And he has a better voice than me, unfortunately for me. And also one Celtic fans view, Ryan 118, Celtic 67 Hell. And one or two others. There's one or two other good channels out there, especially Celtic ones. Obviously, I'm a bit biased in favour of Celtic as well as the town teams. I also like to watch the main Serie A YouTube channel and give them views and support them, which I hope they'll use the money to invest in more academies and buy better players and help Italian football financially as much as possible, to buy better players, to help Italian teams to get more money, to do stuff like that, and to invest in the academies and whatever other costs a football team has, a modern football team, and also the Celtic main channel as well. But yeah, anything that helps Italian football and Celtic pretty much. But I also hope they will do a lot of good, because with great power comes great responsibility. But again, I'd love to work with charities and N.G.Os and look at how they can help football teams more, like even say IKEA's, the IKEA Foundation, or different businesses, foundations and things like that, and charities in all possible countries, to work, like to encourage them to work with people and look at ideas about how they can connect to use football for good, for the greater good for the world. Again, foundations generally, and they could create their own football teams or events, like their staff could play football matches as well for charity, like to fundraise to tackle things like cancer and things like that. It would obviously be good for their PR as well. I'm not sure about the law on taxes, but I wonder if there is a way where Italian football and stroke or Celtic could have ways where wealthy individuals and investors and businesses and even entire nations, places, could sort of hide their money legally. Main word being legal, I suppose. Hide. The term hide probably denotes that it's in a negative way, but they could legally hide their assets like a tax haven, basically. And that could be like for alimony, child support, taxes, or any other costs that people want to avoid. But I wonder if there's a legal loophole that they could do so. If anyone knows about law, maybe Italians who know about law and Celts who know about law could look at ways they could advise Italian football and Celtic, like how to do that, and be like the football version of Switzerland or other tax havens. In Switzerland's case, it's like a financial hub. But yeah, they could be the football version of that. Like people could do so through investing in Italian football. Again, legally, maybe Italian football could do so. And I'd also love for Italian football and Celtic to be like neutral when it comes to wars or politics, so that they can, again, legally bypass any sanctions or rules which could affect other countries. If they can find, one more time I'll say it, legal loopholes, that would be pretty cool, I think. But basically, I'd love to see as much investment into Italian football and Celtic as possible, and using my dyslexic creativity to look at creative ways they could do so. I'll say like be a loophole for legal tax avoidance, not evasion, but avoidance, so that would be legal, and also avoid costs like divorce or alimony, child support, or whatever, again, legally, or even just find a place to hide their assets if, for whatever reason they might do. I can't really think of many other reasons, but yeah, as long as they do so, as I say, legally. I know I don't say that one more time. But yeah, so any way that Italian football can, I'd love to hear any ideas that Italian football and Celtic could do to bring in money, preferably both legally and ethically, definitely legally, and preferably ethically or morally as well. And as ever, I'd love to read from or hear from fellow football fans, especially Italian fans and Celtic fans. Yeah, what would your dreams be for your team, even if you're from or football fan, even if you're a football fan generally, of a team from England or Spain or Germany or any other country. I'd love to hear what your dreams would be for your national team, or what your dreams are in football generally, and how you think football could be used for good, and things like that. But as I say, I'd love for Italian teams and Celtic to get as much funding as possible, and also to do good with that sort of stuff. Maybe next week I'll try and plan out better what I would talk about. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Some people out there at least enjoyed this video, and I am out. Peace and out.